Hi, this is Nicholas Yock, a registered migration and education agent from Pathway to Oz. Today, I'm going to discuss with you the process of applying for South Australian nomination. Okay, and in my experience, South Australia is one of the easiest or the most likely states to receive state nomination. I love South Australia for that. All right, so why do you need state nomination? Well, if you're looking to apply for the general skilled migration visas, the state nominated or skilled nominated subclass 190 or the skilled regional subclass 491, you need to receive state nomination from the state or territory. If you don't receive state nomination, you can't apply for these visas. And we have separate videos explaining, the process of these visas. So check the links below and you can have a little look more. This video is going to be specifically about the South Australia process. Who can be invited for state nomination? If there is a shortage of individuals to work in a particular profession in South Australia, the state may choose to nominate visa holders in this occupation. So apart from meeting the sort of standard requirements for the 190 and 491, you must also meet the South Australian migration requirements. So South Australian migration has its own list of occupations that they are open to inviting. And honestly, South Australia has a really long list of occupations. It also has its own requirements for inviting for state nomination. For example, they might require that if you're onshore, that you've been living and working in South Australia in your occupation for a specific period of time. If you are from offshore, South Australia might want you to have a certain number of years of work experience or a certain number of funds saved up to support yourself in Australia. So let's take, for example, just one example, we'll look at the occupation of carpenter, okay? So if you look at the South Australian migration website, you can see that for the 190 invitation, you need to live and work in the state for a period of 12 months. And for the 491 visa invitation, if you're onshore, you must have lived and worked in the state for 6 months. Okay, so South Australia describes working in the state as at least 20 hours per week or 40 hours per fortnight in a closely related or your specific nominated occupation. For offshore applicants, South Australia requires you to have a minimum of 5 years experience in your nominated occupation within the last 8 years. So please note, guys, if your occupation is on the state list and you do meet the requirements, it doesn't guarantee that you will receive an invitation. This is a competitive process and there is no set waiting list for nomination, but rather a pool of applicants that are changing. So this is why it's important to look at the states which are easier to receive that state nomination. There's less applicants in that pool, a much higher chance you'll get that invite. So what is the process of applying for South Australia nomination? Well, look guys, as per any 190 or 491 or any general skilled migration visa, you must first pass a skill assessment, then submit the expression of interest. On the expression of interest, you would indicate that you're willing to migrate to South Australia. And then once you've lodged the expression of interest, you would then register your interest through the state nomination or the South Australian migration portal. All things going well, once you've submitted your interest to South Australia, they'll send you an invitation. You'll provide some documentation to them showing your work experience, your skill assessment, your English, etc. Then they would send you an invitation and you'd apply for the visa through your IMI portal. So look, I hope you found this information useful. Please note it is very general in nature and it might not be specific to your circumstances. If you are looking to migrate or study in Australia, feel free to contact Pathway to Oz. Thank you.